Hello, it's Angelique with Paint with Angelique, and I'm in the studio with J Haleem.
Does your roof need some love? Maybe a whole roof makeover? Rhino Roofing can make your roof as good as new. Any job, big or small, residential or commercial. Go to rhinolovesroofs.com to get a free estimate. That's Rhino Roofing at rhinolovesroofs.com to get the roof of your dreams. Rhino Roofing, Las Vegas's premier roofing company. rhinolovesroofs.com. That's rhinolovesroofs.com.
What's up, y'all? It's your boy J Haleem, and we are back with another episode of In the Studio. I am enjoying myself right now here in Vegas. Why? Because it's not hot. It's not hot. I love this time of year. Us New York area people. I'm not a New Yorker, but us New York area people are born and bred in the snow. Right now, I'll take the little bit of cold that we got. So I am happy, but I'm even more happy to have this lovely young lady right here in my presence and in the studio in the proverbial hot seat today. Not really a hot seat because this is a family-oriented scenario. And after we finish talking, she will be family. But her story, man, is just so amazing. And, you know, hearing about her and what she's doing in the community, things that she's overcame, I was so happy to for her to be referred to this show. So I want you guys to give a warm welcome to Miss Angelique Daniels. Thank you so much for taking the time.
I'm so happy to be here.
Listen, I don't think you're more happy than I am because, you know, I love authentic stories. You know, a lot of times we're talking to business owners, and especially today, I think business is so perverted, you know, by a lot of people. I've been in business for more than 20 years. I remember when it was ridiculed. We were the crazy people, right? We jumped out, started a business, and everybody looked at us like we were crazy. But we had a real true passion. You know, we knew we had to take the nose. We were okay with that, and we went out and did it. Now everybody just wants to do a business. And so for no good reason, just to make some money, and people don't understand that that's not the real reason to do a business. Your business has a passion behind it. Then being an artist, you know, I'm a photographer plus as well as you know, a full-time author. I don't take photos for money anymore, but I'm never gonna not be an artist. You know, I've done so much work in the photography space. Again, an author, I am an artist through and through. So when to have another artist across from me is everything. So how did you get started in the art space?
Well, thank you so much again for allowing me to be here. And it is exciting to connect with another creative because we get each other, right?
Yes, definitely.
So as a little girl, I just drew the pictures out of the coloring book all the time. I didn't color the coloring book.
Yeah.
And my parents didn't know really what to do with that. They're like, okay, that's cool. But
Yeah, that's definitely.
yeah, they tried to make me be an architect or something like that where I'd make guaranteed money,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
But so I ended up going to Eastern Michigan and getting a degree in business, and running away from a bad relationship, ended up in Las Vegas. But art has, you know, always soothed me.
Yeah.
I always was drawing in some capacity throughout everything. Whatever job that I had, I was drawing things for people.
Yeah.
And always stayed connected to that. But when I came to Vegas, got locked into a job, right? Got to eat.
That happens.
Got to eat.
Yeah, that happens.
Got to eat. So got stuck in the restaurant business for about 27 years
Wow, that's tough.
before for Darden Restaurants, specifically the Olive Garden. And when I was there, I was like, I'm going to be the best person here. If I got to be in restaurants,
That's the attitude to have.
I'm going to be the best person here.
It's called entrepreneurship.
Yeah. So I quickly became the general manager at Olive Garden and ran a couple of them in town because I thought that was a big goal, but really, I was still small-minded, right? Not thinking maybe franchisee, not thinking by now it could have been the vice president or maybe the president.
Well, how many of those people did you know specifically? Like, I mean, you dealt with those people, but how many of those people did you know specifically?
The higher up.
No, yeah, that was franchisees and stuff like that,
Yeah, I
family
knew 'em
members or
pretty.
people that you were.
As I grew in the
Yeah.
company,
But outside of that, see, because I was talking about like a lot of times it's our influence. Like if we don't see us doing it or we don't see somebody we know,
amen.
we might not feel like we can do that.
Absolutely.
And so I wouldn't shoot it down. We get to certain parts in life and then certain things unlock for us.
Yes.
And we might feel like, oh man, I missed it. I could have been, it wasn't the time then. It just unlocked for you.
So I say that to say this, the power of mentorship is extremely important to me.
Yes, Lord.
So that's what the space that I walk in now, that
Yeah.
I make sure that I mentor when I can, where I can. And while I was in that space of the Olive Garden and encouraging employees to dream a little bigger outside of just being a cook, outside of just being, so I was doing it in the space anyway, but I
Yeah.
wasn't doing it for myself because to your point, I didn't have anybody to help me dream bigger or see bigger, or I didn't see anybody in those positions
Yeah.
and wasn't thinking like that, you know. When I got into the art space, one of my mentors was Miss Annie Lee.
Okay.
I met her. I became a fan. I saw her work when I was visiting my cousin at Spelman, and I just fell in love with her work. It just made me laugh, and I was just like, "Who is this lady?"
Were you in college at this time?
I had already graduated. I was just visiting my cousin, and Annie Lee is from Chicago. She was from Chicago, and I was from Michigan. I was still living in Michigan at the time, and she was the biggest mentor for
Trading
me.
coal for coal.
Yeah, I know. She really enlightened me about. She was my first millionaire friend.
Okay.
And I got to see up close and personal what that looked like.
The millionaire friends, man. People don't get it. I literally cried almost 5 years ago talking to my millionaire friend, and I told her that she wasn't supposed to be my friend. Not from a humble space, because I just knew the things that she would talk to me about that other friends might get a leg up and they'll try to hide and hoard. She would just give me this information. Oh, we're friends. We're just talking, not trying to do anything, just normal situations. So I don't know if your experience was like that, but my life changed when I met a millionaire as well and became friends with a millionaire.
For me, I was just a fan, right?
Mm-hmm.
I was just a fan, and somehow she lived in Chicago. I was from Michigan. Somehow we both ended up in Las Vegas. And my brother.
We're gonna get to that before because I want to usher him in. I don't want you to interview yourself.
Okay. My brother took me out to dinner for my birthday one day, and he was always broke. So I was just excited that my brother was taking me to dinner and to Laurie's at that,
Wow.
like a nice spot. And we get there, and he goes, "I have a surprise for you." And I'm like, "What? Is mom coming?" Because my mom never left Michigan. And he's like, "Nope." He goes, "I know somebody that knows Annie Lee, and she agreed to come to dinner."
Wow.
So she came to dinner, and she just instantly loved me. She even went back to my home and saw my collection. By then, I had collected probably about 50 or 60 of her figurines, of her originals. And we just became friends. And fast forward, I got to work with her, travel with her. I went on a Tom Joyner cruise with her. I got to sell her work. She opened a 10,000 square foot gallery here in Vegas off of Sunset Road. And I became the collectibles consultant because I knew all the images.
Oh, we gotta get back, and so we rewind the tape a little bit. And I'm saying tape for us people who understand what tape is. For y'all kids, y'all learn something. So we rewind the tape a little bit. So you left Michigan. You were already doing this thing. Got into the art space just for you. Graduating college. What was the plan? Graduating with a business degree, but having this skill as an artist. What was the plan for you?
Art was on the back burner because I was just focused on getting out here, making money.
So you immediately left college and went straight to Vegas, or
came straight to. I said, "Mom, I just want a one-way ticket to Vegas."
wow.
And so my grandma had been out here actually about 30 years. She was a shill. She's a little old lady playing cards at the Riviera. So I called my grandma. Remember, I'm running away from a bad relationship, right? So I called grandma and said, "Can I come stay with you?" Because I had people down south, and that wasn't my jam. I had never been on the West Coast. So I was like, can I come stay with you? And just as a grandma would, come on, baby.
And Vegas wasn't what it is today, when you were coming out here. So when you got here, were you frequenting the strip, or were you just, what was it like?
Man, 20s, my degree, a little bit of money in my pocket. I lost my mind coming from Michigan. Palm trees, pool parties, volleyball in the pool, sending my friends pictures. Had a friend in LA.
Yeah.
My best friend, a really good friend, was in LA, so I was out there all the time. But then my money ran low, and I really had to get a job. Right? I really had to get a job.
But that's living, though. That's living, because
a
lot of times we had these kids all wound up, in their 20s. And yes, I want you to take advantage of those times and make your money and things like that. But you got to enjoy this thing called life. And, you have to enjoy it. So that's why I ask you these questions, because we can talk about the business all day, but we want to know who's the person behind it.
Yes.
Where did she come from? What did she do? What made her make that decision? Because real life things happen to make you make these decisions. It's not just,
Yes.
oh, I just came up with this.
Yes. So I had always worked in a restaurant when I was going to school. I worked in a restaurant. So when I came to Vegas, I actually thought I was going to work in a casino, because my degree was in HR, specific concentration in HR management, because I like training and development. And it was kind of hard to get into casinos. I didn't realize how cliquish it was. Money was running real low.
Yeah.
So that's when I went back to, that's why I went back to what I know, which was restaurants.
Yeah.
And man, I don't tell many people this. This is kind of confidential.
Look, exclusive.
The first job was actually Wendy's.
Oh, man.
I took whatever, and I was just like, I would tell people I was unemployed. I wouldn't tell people that I had, and my friends, like, if I wouldn't buy the next round of drinks when we went out, they'd be like, I'm going to tell them where you work at. And I'm like, okay, it's on me. So then when I left, looking for something better, that's when I went to Darden. And Darden was good to me. Darden Restaurants is the largest full-service corporation in the world. Like I said, when I got in there, I was like, oh, my God, I can't believe it. It was something I could do well, but it wasn't my passion.
Yeah.
I could just do that work like nothing, train people like nothing, knew every job in there. I could do everything. I learned quick because I knew that, how we got to do better. We got to work harder than anybody else in the room, to get where I wanted to get and to be recognized. That saying that, be so good they can't ignore you.
Yeah.
That was my mindset. I was like, I'm going to learn everything. And so I got quickly promoted, had my own restaurant. I wasn't even 30. I think I was like 27. And I was a general manager, had my name outside the building.
Loved it.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. But like I said, I wish I had a bigger vision for myself.
I think that vision was big. I think that, and this is just my opinion, you can tell me what you think. I think it wasn't that it was big or small or not big enough. I just think that you didn't understand it at the time. And then being 27 years old, you really don't.
You don't? I didn't know what I was doing.
Yeah, you really don't. You just know, like, all right, I should be making more money with this title, and I probably got some more money, and now I can actually take care of myself or do these types of things. And we want to be these, outliers where we can just figure it all out at 25, but that's more of a lottery ticket. That's not the normal scenario. And I think that, unless we're going to get into your business now, I think that if you didn't have these experiences and then do what you needed to do for somebody else's business, you wouldn't be able to do your business so well.
Absolutely.
And a lot of people are trying to skip that step. They're crappy employees and just, you're going to be the best CEO. That's I don't see that happening. I don't see that happening.
Yeah, and to Olive Garden's credit, I went to a lot of personal development things as a manager, like the 7 Habits of Highly Successful People.
Come on,
with Stephen Covey.
Yes.
Like I actually met Stephen Covey.
Wow.
He was there. Now his kids run the business.
Yep, that's a great book.
So it really got me into personal development. Like I don't know movies that well. I don't know music that well, but I know personal development.
I love it.
I watch Mel Robbins and Jay Shetty, the newcomers, but I like Jim Rohn.
Yes.
I like all the
godfather of personal development.
Earl Nightingale. I watch Black and White.
Yeah,
I love that stuff because there's truth. There's common threads that run throughout that stuff over and over again. Like, be so good they can't ignore you is carrying me so far. Yeah. Working twice as hard as the other person and just doing your best, whatever their best looks like at the time. Just really try to do your best work.
Why do people take that approach to the job but not to their business?
I don't know. I don't think it's just like people open restaurants and don't know what they're doing. They think they can fry chicken and they're going to open a restaurant. And that's such a small part
Anybody
of it.
who knows me intimately is going to love you for that statement, because I've said that fried chicken is my favorite food. And I got presentations on film, me presenting saying, just because you fry the best chicken in your neighborhood don't mean you need a restaurant. I've been saying that forever. I'm talking about literally, I'm documented saying that.
It's
so you said
such a small part. And when I was at Olive Garden, I said it's really it's just noodles and sauce and people. That's what I would tell people. It's noodles, and then I moved it around. I said no, it's really people.
Yeah.
And noodles and sauce. The people come first.
Definitely.
The relationships come first.
Definitely.
That's number one, and then the rest will take care of itself if you treat your people right and all that kind of stuff.
It's just like, because you say you repeated something that we've heard, especially individuals of our hue have heard most of our lives, that we have to work twice as hard or 3 times as hard. But I think that always meant for the job or in certain schools, like an educational environment. But when we have our own thing, we should take that same approach to that, because we'll get way more. But we willing to knock it out the park for somebody else. I love jobs, even though, this ain't my interview, but I never had that type of job. I wish I would have. It would have made my life a little bit easier, I believe. But I respect it so much. But I'm like, hey, once you get off of that, bring that same energy to your own thing. And I think you were 10X, where you were. In that space. And I'm just trying to find out, like, why do we have a hard time making that adjustment?
I don't. Restaurant
Said not me.
I mean, anybody in the restaurant or retail, well, I don't know about retail, but restaurant business, you're a soldier if you've been in the game like 20 years. Like, I was there 27 years.
Yeah.
I don't have a hard time getting up. I work every day. I mean, and it really isn't work. And I know that sounds cliche.
No. It's
a
real,
lifestyle.
though. It's real.
It's a lifestyle.
See, this is a twin flame right here. I'm right here in this seat saying this right here on camera, saying the same thing. It's no work-life balance. This is just your lifestyle. Yeah, this is just what we do. Even your family, your kids, everybody just assimilate. They're like, oh, well, mom and dad got to do this, or mom got to do that, dad got to do this. It's not like, oh, man, I'm not going to be able to do this. No, they know what you're doing.
Yeah, it's not a bad thing. I used to shy away from saying that. But it truly is a lifestyle. And I like my lifestyle.
Yeah.
I'm closed on Monday and Tuesday, but you know what? You probably going to see my little van down
yes.
there. Because I'll be like, that's what I want to do. And I don't want to wash clothes. I don't want to, that's all built into my lifestyle. I get up and I put a load in the washing machine every day. I cook dinner before I get to my art studio at 12.
This is the real stuff we need to hear right here.
When I get to my art studio at 12 o'clock, I done wash a load of clothes and dinner is done. Like down south, you remember how your grandma used to have dinner?
Yeah. 2 o'clock, 2:30, dinner already done. As soon as you get out of school, the food, so you got to have that conversation, because this is what we doing, and we still running businesses. We don't have to sit there and say it all got to line up perfect. It all got to be this. I don't get it. So tell me something that 27 years in the restaurant industry helped you, like what you learned that helped you in your business today.
Man, leadership skills, how to manage people, customer service. That's one thing. Like Olive Garden was really big on customer service. I had to really watch myself because I was giving too many things away in my own business, right? And people don't expect that.
Yeah.
They just want to be seen, and they want good service. And so I go above and beyond for there's not a person that comes to my paint parties, literally, whether it's 10 people or 100, that I don't get next to you in some kind of way.
Yeah, love it.
I try to make sure that you're seen. I really try to do my best work all the time. And Olive Garden, really, Darden Restaurants was about excellence. They had a really high standard for the managers. You couldn't fraternize with the employees. You couldn't hang out with people at all.
Yeah.
You'd be fired.
Wow.
I mean, it was kind of a tight ship, but I love that discipline aspect
for
of
sure.
it. And then, of course, the financial stuff. You were like, it was your restaurant. So you had to learn about the standards and the financial, how to read a P&L.
Yeah.
And in my 20s, that was great.
That's phenomenal.
That was great for me. And
How
training
many people
and
I'm dealing with people now that don't know what a P&L is? Because I'm getting with people. A lot of my practice is individuals who are switching jobs or leaving their job to go into entrepreneurship or retiring, and they're not prepared to retire really financially. So they want to take their skill set into entrepreneurship, but they don't know these things. No. They just know what they know. They know how to do that job they were doing for 27 years, 30 years, 40 years. That's it. But how to actually run a company and what's needed, they were comfortable with never even seeing that part. You know, I was a machine operator. I was this, I was that for all these years. And that's all I know how to do. Yeah. But I had a passion to do this and I want to do it, but I don't know how to do the back end. I don't know what to do. And so you've learned that stuff.
I learned. When I got there, I was training with like 3 white guys, and they would just stand and watch the employees work with their hands in their pockets. I would get an apron and work right next to you. You know, I could take apart that dishwasher and put it back together. I knew who to call. I learned so much. See, they say restaurant management is a jack of all trades, but master of none. Yeah. But I don't know about the master of none part, because I mastered a lot of those skill sets along the way. My favorite thing, one of the biggest things, aside from working with people, the people aspect of things and how to manage a diverse workforce and all that, that was highly valuable. But I love good systems. Yes. You know, I love a good system. Yes. You know, like when you paint with me, like the baggie has the apron, the paper towel, your paintbrush is already in there, your reference photo. I just drop it at every seat, and I could run a whole party of 200 people by myself. Like literally, like if somebody helps me set up and tear down, if I have a volunteer, if it's a fundraiser or something like that. If it's not, I could do it by myself. Ideally, you don't want to. You don't want to, but I can, because good systems are important to me.
And that helps you grow. You know, that's literally secret sauce. You know, all the businesses that we knew and loved. I mean, I think about McDonald's. I don't eat them anymore, but they're there for a reason. Yeah. And it's because of the systems. You know, you can't knock that. I might not partake, but you can't. As a business owner, I definitely love the systems that they created. So one thing I always tell people about businesses, and also because people, they want to jump off their job. They're working with me. I'm like, you know, just because you're working with me don't mean you got to leave the job right now. You can stay there. And one thing I say, and something you just said, that when you work for a job, they give you the information. When you out here as an entrepreneur trying to figure it out on your own, it's not easy to get people to give you information. Then you talked about certifications you've probably gotten, trainings, things that they paid for you to go to. Mm-hmm. These things are extremely important that you got to pay for yourself. Mm-hmm. If you do it, and it takes so long for the regular entrepreneur to start to want to invest in themselves. Yeah. They're like, hey, I'm frying the chicken, I'm gonna buy the chicken and the packaging for the chicken and buy it and make me a millionaire. Not let me go to a sales course, go someplace and learn how to talk to people, not to go ahead and get Dale Carnegie's book, How to Win Friends and Influence People. Mm-hmm. They're not learning none of these things. They're just like, I make good chicken, why you're not buying it? Right. Because they don't want to create that. But working the job, they tell you, especially in the restaurant business, and again, that's why I say twin flames, because restaurants are always my example. Because no matter where you start, even if you're a waiter or a host, like you're learning who's delivering stuff there, so you know who suppliers are. You get to know these people, you know everything, and they're not hiding nothing from you. And so when you do your time there, you're stronger, you're better, you know everything. If you're thinking like that, as we talked about earlier, because you might not be thinking that way. You might just be like, hey, this just work. And you work here for 30 years and you don't know where they get their spoons and where they get this and the place and all that. You should be paying close attention. You made 1 million orders over the last 10 years. Yep. You don't know the name of the company that you're ordering from? You don't know where they're based out of? You don't know these things? Jobs help you with that. Mm-hmm. And that's why I asked you that question about some of the things that you've learned. Yes. Because you are a testimony to like, hey, I did my time and I learned a lot and now I'm able to do my own thing. So that's sweet. When was that moment? Because I know you did the job and then you was working with Miss Ann, right? Mm-hmm. Miss Annie. At what point when you was like, hey, I'm about to shut this down and go do my own thing?
Took me a long time. I started working with Annie like in the early, let's see, about 2011.
Okay.
And actually, yeah, she passed in 2014. She
Okay.
actually passed away in 2014.
And I'm sorry for your loss.
Thank you. And I just left my job like 3 years ago.
Okay.
Just 3 years ago. So 2021, 22 is when I just left my job. And it was a tough decision because I was scared.
You should be.
The fear. Like, don't quit your jobs. Like, people ask me now, I say, you'll know when it's time.
Yes.
And it's not just fear, it's financial fear.
Yeah.
So get your money right.
Yeah.
And that's the thing that Olive Garden helped me with. I put my money away.
Yeah.
So it made it, I invested in the 401k with the company match, and I knew what the stock, I knew my benefits.
Come on here.
Make the job work for you.
Come on here.
In some kind of way, right?
Yes.
Know your benefits package. I would sign people up for the 401k, even when I couldn't explain it. I said, look, just save a little bit of your money. When those reports come in, then I'll sit down or take it to your bank and they'll explain it to you. That's why you have a bank and there's somebody in there that can sit down with you. But I would hold little mini classes, especially with the minorities, the Hispanics and stuff.
Yes,
I would
come on here.
I said, just save your money. It'll make it easier if you have a big dream for yourself to make that move. Because I had that little nest egg. Plus, I have a husband too, so that helped.
Oh, we're gonna talk about him.
Yeah, so that helped me make the decision. But I was still nervous because it didn't look good on paper, to be honest with you. But at some point, you got to trust God and bet on you. I said, I'm gonna bet on me.
Go into that because this is great for our audience.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't look good on paper. Go into that. Go deeper.
Like,
with that.
I literally put it all out, right? I started paying off my bills when I knew that I was going to make this move, right?
Yeah.
I started paying off all my debt. I started really getting into my benefits package and leveraging that for like a year before I was leaving. And when I put it all out, I was like, dang, there's kind of a gap here, like, because I have a place now. I have a place.
Yeah.
And when I put it all on paper, I was just like, oh, I guess this is the part where I'm supposed to trust you, Lord.
Yeah.
This is the faith part. This is where the work.
Hey, look.
The rubber meets the road.
Yeah. What my man say, you done all you can. You just stand.
Yeah.
You've done everything you needed to do.
Yeah.
And that's the part of it. And that was the part that a lot of people used to call us crazy on when we stepped out. They should be like, because they couldn't see the next thing. They couldn't see it. And they had to see it. They had to even see it. No, but us, we don't need to see it. We don't need to see it. And the truth of the matter is that's the only thing that counts because it's only about today. It's not really, we can plan, but, Enron went down, all these places went down. People saved money, stuff happens. But what do you know that you can do? My quote is the platform you leap from is more important than the platform you land on. What platform are you leaping from? If you building a strong enough platform, wherever you land, you're going to be able to do what you need to do. So you're talking about 27 years of working, then working alongside a phenomenal artist, learning the skills that you've learned, everything like that. It's no way you're going to fail, really. Now, you just can't see it. And we're so narcissistic that we have to see it in order to make a move. But you can't be a believer and feel like that. That's literally contradictory to being a believer. You can't be a believer and faithing in God and say, hey, I got to see everything before you do it.
And that financial fear too is real.
It really is.
And especially when you have kids and a mortgage and, and you're trying to build a future for them and you're just, the financial part just has people in bondage, like literally, like you have to get your money right. So it's not too crazy and especially as a creative, it's hard to create if you have that baggage in the back of your brain.
Yeah, you got that right. Got to be free.
And I can't rush art. Like I do very simple paintings anyone can do in just 2 hours. That's my tag.
Yeah.
But I can't rush it. Like I when I'm coming up with ideas and stuff, you don't want that pressure on you as a creative, So that leaving the job was a big step.
I love this conversation because people need to hear that. Somebody is thinking about it right now. Somebody's contemplating it. Another thing, this is a free tip from a business coach. I always tell people, give yourself a year at least. And the reason why I say that is because I want you to go through the cycles of your business. You need to see all 4 quarters. You need to know what quarter is going to be strong, what quarter is going to be weak. That should tell you when you want to leave your business. I remember leaving my job, and it wasn't the greatest job or nothing like that, but still was it still was a job. And I left at the worst time. I was a photographer full time, and January was not my month. I left at the end of November. I made no money for the next 2 months, and I needed every dollar, but I didn't realize that was my slowest month. I just wanted to go. I could have waited 2 or 3 more months and waited to second quarter, and everything would have been a little bit better. But I had to get kicked in the behind and learn that. So I always tell people, give yourself at least a year. Might be more, but give yourself at least a year after you're already in the business, and at least know when your slow months is, when your fast months is, things of that nature. Get your cycles down, when you before you step off your job. Of course, save money and everything like that.
Get everything you can out of that job. Like, so many people don't know their benefits. I learned things and I was like, wow, I didn't even know this was available. And I don't know how the way the world is right now, I know the HR, everything's online, right? Get your butt online and learn all your benefits.
Yeah, that's a great question too. I mean, not a great question, great topic, because a lot of entrepreneurs need to think about that as well. Because this is the thing. Oh, you can't leave your job because you're not going to have health insurance. Yes, you can. You just going to have to pay for it. Oh, well, my job, no, you pay for it. It comes out of your check. Now, some government entities, I don't know if they still do it, used to pay for you, or they'll maybe pay for you, but they won't pay for your family.
Yeah.
So it's for you guys. Okay, you're free, but husband or wife and the 2 kids, you still got to pay for them. And it comes out of your check. A lot of people still believe that, adage, you won't see it if you just come out your check. So you're not looking at your check stub? Because I know I will be looking at mine. And I see the $800 coming out. So if you pay that way, you can pay Blue Cross or whomever yourself.
And to that point, how about in that last year, you get healthy? How about you go to the dentist? How about you go to the and do the pre-care?
Exactly.
All those checkups that are actually free.
Exactly.
How about you do
preventative
all those
maintenance?
Things?
Yep, get your preventative
do all those
stuff.
things before you leave.
Yeah.
So there's just to have a plan, have a strategy. Anna used to tell me, don't quit that job. Because she said, you're looking at me and seeing what I'm doing. She's my millionaire friend. She would literally, don't quit that job. It wasn't time.
Yeah.
And when the timing was right, my mom would say, because I'd be, coming down to the last days, and I was like really miserable.
Yeah.
I just felt like they were like 2 proverbial curtains, like the one if I stayed forever and the one if I followed my dream,
Yeah.
And my mom, she would just say, you'll know when it's time.
Yeah.
And it was Mother's Day. Mother's Day is the busiest day of the year. It was Mother's Day, and I was at another restaurant and visiting. They sent me to another restaurant because I was the general manager. Let me back up. I was the general manager, and then I tried to quit before I had my kids. So for the last 10 years of my career, I was part-time. I tried to quit before I had my kids because I didn't want to work that hard as a restaurant manager. The schedule was everywhere. I was making like 80 grand and I wasn't even, and that was a long time ago. That was good money.
Yeah, that's great money.
And it was, my schedule was just crazy.
And Vegas used to be cheap, y'all.
Yeah. And when I was making 80 grand, like my son's 26 years ago. And I said,
wow.
I said, I don't want to get locked into this. So I quit. I did quit to be a mom.
Yeah.
And they asked me to come back and they made me the first part-time manager in the company.
Wow.
So I worked part-time and I thought I could do it forever. And they started bouncing me around the restaurant. So it was Mother's Day, and one of the managers, I had actually trained him. He had asked me to do something, and I don't know, it just kind of set funny with me. It wasn't a big deal. It was just a normal directive. And I was just like, I think today's my last day.
Wow.
And I went in the office and I typed the letter. I was closing the restaurant that day, and I typed it, and I was like, yeah, this is it. And I had empty nest. My daughter, she goes to UNR. My son had just jumped up and joined the military, so I had the empty nest. That restaurant I was visiting was actually the restaurant I had trained in 20-something years ago. And I was like, I thought I had misguided on that. You know how you listen to the whispers? And I just kind of looked around. I was like, oh, shoot, this is it.
Yeah, yeah. What does it feel like to do it your way? Because that's your way. And the fact that you basically wrapped it up with your kids were out of the house at this point. So you did it the way you wanted to. You probably didn't just quit completely, but You still work part-time, which probably would gave you a lot of time to still be around your kids and be a parent.
It's amazing.
What is it like doing it your way?
I'm still in awe of it.
Yeah.
It's still like, it's still a bit surreal, even like, just walking in the space I'm in now. When I get up and I'm like, dang, if I didn't want to do anything today, I don't have to do anything. But I want to do this and I want to do that. It's exciting.
Yes, it is.
It's just really like exciting to be able to do what I love and serve other people.
Yeah.
And check all the boxes, right?
Yeah.
Provide for my family, be an example for my kids.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think we're living the dream, man.
It's funny when you say that. I want to talk about your husband and how has he been as a partner with this. I want to do it. I don't want to do it. We're going to do it. All this other thing. How has he been as a support system with that?
My husband is amazing. Mm-hmm. Like, if my husband walked on water, I'd be like, I knew it. I knew something was not quite right with this man. And I'm not exaggerating.
No, I'm with that. And shout out to the brothers, because we got to continue to support the brothers. Y'all sisters do a wonderful job of supporting each other.
Yeah,
it's women this, woman that. Support that brother. Tell me your husband's name.
My husband's name is Will Daniels.
Okay. Will. Shout out to brother Will, and you. If you walk on water, salute to you.
I had just never seen anybody walk in all the fruits of the Spirit daily. Like, that's your life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And he's just the most kindest person I've ever met. He was born in Oklahoma, born and raised in Oklahoma.
Okay.
In the Bible Belt, knows the Bible frontwards and backwards, and actually models all those behaviors. And it's just amazing to watch. So he has been the stable force. He works for the post office. He's been the stable force and was in the Air Force. I met him at Nellis Air Force Base.
Okay.
Remember, I was running away from a bad relationship, got to Vegas, was in the club. You can't meet somebody in the club. It was the NCO club, though.
Oh, wow. Military.
Yeah, military club. And so met him there, and he's just been really supportive. He just really supportive. He just loves watching me do what I do.
I love it.
He just like, it's funny, like if he was here right there, his eyes would just be like all kind of glazed over, like just so
After you just got finished saying all that stuff, I would be too.
He just authentically, like, just a good person, and just marvels in the steps, we've been together 27 years. So, over 30 years together.
Yeah, mm-hmm.
So he's just really supportive and has faith in me.
Yeah, that's amazing, man. And we need to hear more of that, because everybody's always, the marriage this and the marriage that. But here's a marriage that works. Here's a marriage is definitely a give and take in a good way, an example. And one of the biggest examples that we've heard about is, he was challenged with a kidney issue.
Yeah.
How long ago was that?
The kidney transplant took place in 2019, but he was on dialysis for 2 years, so it started in about 2017.
Okay.
And that was tough. And to the ladies too, it's tough when you're like, when you have a husband and you're raising your kids. And I tell ladies all the time, this is the toughest part, like, of your life. And if your mom didn't tell you. So just embrace it, be present. That's why I quit, and I went, didn't want to work all those crazy hours.
Yeah.
And just do your side hustle just a little bit. Yeah. But just pay attention to your kids, be present with your kids, and don't let the side hustle like overtake your primary responsibilities. And it might be a little old school, and maybe some ladies are turning up their nose to that, but there's some old fashioned things that I believe you need to do.
Yeah.
You need to make that first in your life, God first, right? And take care of your husband and take care of your kids like you're supposed to, like you're supposed to, and put that side, do your little thing on the side, but make sure you take care of your family. If you want to have a family, if you want your marriage to work, it's work.
Yeah, it's definitely work involved in it. Mm-hmm. Y'all got the news saying 2017 that he was having issues. Let's talk about, something that, because people don't talk about this enough, I don't believe. And I'm partial to it because my nephew just got a kidney transplant. And I mean, his
wonderful.
story is remarkable. He's a young kid. I mean, I think he just turned 30 or about to be 30. But he went to the military and just doing his thing, living life, and then just got sick. And in the last 4 or 5 years, pretty much through COVID, this has been going on for him. And it's been rough. And nobody talks about it enough. And trying to find a donor and going through all of that stuff like that.
Yeah.
So what was that process like? We know what ultimately happened. I'll get to that, but just the process before you made the decision.
So lots of swelling. He had swelling in his ankles. They were misdiagnosing it, and his primary doctor said, "You know what? I'm going to test your kidneys." And so his doctor tested his kidneys, and they weren't functioning properly. And he was on dialysis, and that was horrible. I think that I wish I could catch people at that point when you're on when you get that story that you have to go on dialysis. And for those of you who don't know, it's a machine that filters your blood. You had to be on it for 3 hours at a time, 3 days a week. You can do it at home. I don't recommend that. I recommend going to the facility. That's a whole different story. But anyway, that was rough because I told you he's one of the kindest people. He doesn't drink. I never, in the whole 30 years we've been together, I never heard him say a swear word all the time. And it was like, why me? Why is this happening to me? Like, I've tried to do everything in my life. Oh, it could still bring me the tears. That was the hardest moment, watching him get that news. And then you're wondering, am I going to be able to work? How am I going to be able to provide for my family?
Yeah.
And all that, those thoughts are going through your head. And so it as God would have it, it worked out that he was on dialysis and he still worked. My husband is a beast.
Yeah.
He worked at the post office. Ain't no easy job.
Not even a little bit.
Yeah, and he worked at the post office. He was able to sleep while he was on the machine on dialysis. Some people can't sleep. He was able to sleep. And so I always knew that my blood type was O negative. I would donate blood in college. I don't know why, because I wasn't getting no money from it, but
yeah. That's
because
what
I had
we did.
a rare blood type, O negative, that they would call me from time to time, and they told me it was rare and they need it, and so I would do it. And so I just happened to know that I was O negative, and I knew that was a universal donor. And I was like, I think I could donate my kidney to you. I'm pretty
Hold
sure.
up! Don't go too fast. Don't go before that, because I don't want to miss the educational portion of it. What was the process like when they put you guys out there looking for a donor, or they didn't get a chance to do that? Okay,
We didn't. But remember, going back to the character of my husband, he didn't want me to do it.
he didn't want you to be the one to do it.
He didn't want me to be the donor. He's the provider, right?
Yeah.
I don't want you to do it. And I said, well, I'm pretty sure I can. I don't know if that's the only factor.
Yeah.
And he said, I think I just want to get on the transplant list, just like everybody else.
Wow.
Why should I have that unfair advantage when there's over 100,000 people currently waiting? And
Wow.
I said, you know the Bible way better than me, frontwards and backwards. I said, but I believe it's called favor. And we finally agreed that
You didn't beat him up and say, "Hey, I'm about to do this, and you're gonna have to take it."
Yeah, it's like it was kind of a plot twist here. I wasn't healthy enough to give him my kidney. My iron was too low. I had to have some surgeries, and so we put him he was placed on the national list, and then I had to try to get healthy, and we said whichever came up first. So I got healthy first.
What was that motivation and inspiration like? Once they said, okay, you wanted to do it, you said okay, but then you found out that you had some work you had to do.
Man, when I tell you it was a roller coaster ride, it was a roller coaster ride.
Yeah.
I can kind of smile and laugh at it now because God had us the whole time.
Yes.
You be crying and worrying and crying and worrying and calling relatives. And it was hard. And when I said, I was in the middle of raising my family, I had 2 teenagers, too.
Yeah.
And then I'm trying to help my husband mentally.
Yeah.
I've had to call the ambulance a couple of times to the house when they were trying to get the dialysis thing right. And
Yeah.
his blood was low. And so I'm trying to manage him and keep him uplifted spiritually. Then I'm supporting you as well physically.
Yeah.
Then I got these crazy teenagers, doing their thing, seeing daddy sick,
Yeah.
and then going through what teenagers go through. It was a rough part in the life, but God had us the whole time. Stayed prayed up.
What was the support system like
For me,
just for the family?
for the family, we actually another challenge is we did it all the way in Arizona at Mayo Clinic.
Oh, okay.
So we
Wow.
traveled up and down the freeway a lot. Mayo Clinic is a wonderful facility. They had social workers to work with my kids because you're going to see both your parents going into surgery at the same time.
Yeah.
What's that effect on you? I also mostly leaned on my tribe, not friends, relatives mostly.
Yeah.
A few key friends. But you definitely have to talk to people. That just came to mind when you said support. You have to lean on people. My husband's very private. He didn't want me to share, and he didn't want me to talk about it. And I said, I have to.
Yeah.
That's kind of selfish. And how can people pray for you if you don't tell them what's going on?
Yeah.
So he opened up a little bit and let me share. I actually got some counseling because I wasn't crazy, but I felt like I should be. So I went my first visit. I said, I just want to tell you everything without you saying anything back to me. So I guess that's what counseling is, right?
Yeah.
And that's why I'm here. So I did seek some help as the matriarch of the family, just trying to hold everybody together. So so the surgery, of course, went well. He's doing very well. We're 6 years now that he's had my
Congratulations.
kidney. And I was nervous because I drink a lot of Chardonnay. And he didn't drink it all. I'm the paint and sip lady.
Yeah, no, that's phenomenal. Congratulations.
Thank you. It was a miracle. We I wear my Donate Life bracelet all the time. I partner with Nevada Donor Network. Have my own nonprofit.
We're getting to that. We get to that. I want to talk about the business because you started this business after all of this.
Yeah. In the midst of it is always like a hustle, and then I really jumped into it, after I left the Olive Garden, of course, in 2000. I'm getting my dates mixed up. 2021, 22.
Did it ease your anxiety a bit after going through something like this and surviving, coming out on the other side? Was it like, you know what, if we can survive this, we can do whatever?
Exactly. It made me like fearless, if there's a term, if there is such a thing.
Yeah.
I take more risk. I'm like, God had us.
Yeah.
The whole time.
Yeah.
And that's how anybody that overcomes anything, you're like, dang, crying, worrying,
Yeah.
and then you're on the other side, right?
Yeah.
I'm like, they literally took an organ out of me, put it in a bowl, and put it in your body, and it worked. Like, that's insane. What else does God have for us,
Exactly.
right? Like, what else does He have? And I don't
world.
know. I'm just amazed at that. And that's for anyone, right? When you go back and look at the things that God has done for you, why wouldn't He do this? Or why wouldn't He do those other things, those other dreams that you have? Why wouldn't He do it?
I think we get comfortable in our crisis. We get comfortable in our crisis moments. And we try our hardest to go back to Him. Like you be delivered from something, and it could be a year or two that you've been delivered from it, and you're fighting for that other thing because it's hard to live in this season. You don't know. This season is unfamiliar. This winning season is unfamiliar. You got 15 years of losing and 2 years of winning. You're like, you're still not comfortable with that yet.
Yeah.
You still don't know what that looks like. You can get a first class ticket, but you still trying to go to coach. Like, no.
I love that.
You see what I'm saying? Like, I know you can actually do this comfortably. And it's okay for them to bring you a glass of Chardonnay and give you a warm towel, and you can actually have dinner and not, the nuts or nothing sometimes. So
Yes.
we have to learn how to live in that space, not just trying to find the places that we're comfortable. And that's another beauty about entrepreneurship because it prepares you for that. You hardly can ever get comfortable as an entrepreneur. You have to be, like you might be comfortable for some minutes or some days, but mostly you're not comfortable. You're like, okay, I got to prepare for this, prepare for that. And then even if it's not you, I'm preparing somebody else to be prepared for this, prepared for that, because at any given moment, like again, you started the business after the fact, but this happened to somebody while they were in business. Mm-hmm. And we don't put that on the what can happen to our business, what, the SWOT analysis, what's the threats. Mm-hmm. Nobody puts health. everybody put the competition
yeah.
or, the losing money or something like that. Health is a threat to your business.
It is a serious threat.
And so overcoming something like that should catapult you and say, you know what, bring it on.
Yeah, it has definitely made my faith very much stronger, my confidence very much stronger. And I think we think about it every day.
Yeah.
We think about what a blessing it was every day. We live and walk in gratitude every day.
I love it. I'm
Every
grateful
day.
for you guys because this testimony is just what's needed. It's what's needed. People talk about this stuff, in silos, but it needs to be brought to the light more often because they always pushing up on the dumb stuff. We can talk about Donald Trump all day long and all the garbage, but some real life miracles are happening right before our eyes. And if we focus on that, not just the world, our city, businesses, everything will be better. And so I believe in my heart of hearts that this phenomenal company here was birthed out of that triumph.
It definitely was, and like my mission has shifted. First I thought I just wanted to drink and paint all day. Literally,
Sounds fun though.
My original logo that's on my truck out there is just ladies with glasses in their hand, and one has a paint palette. And I thought that is what I wanted to do. That was my purpose, and I still do love that. I'm trying to not drink as much because I have one kidney, So I'm trying to pull away from that aspect a little bit, but the mission is much bigger now. It's to introduce people to the healing power and joy of art because I painted through that whole experience.
Yes, Lord. Let's talk about that. So the healing powers of art. Now, for me, I hated the thought of being a photographer. As I told you off camera. Oh, at first, no, I hated it because I was into the music industry. Well, entertainment. I was managing models and musicians, things of that nature. Kind of got crazy managing people because you're working harder for them than they are for themselves. So I got into the blogging. This is when the blog boom happened. So about 2009, 2010. And I went and started interviewing celebrities. I went to red carpets in LA, New York. I worked with the Ice Cubes of the world and some other people, Rick Ross, all these people. Mm-hmm. And I had these cameras, and they're like, "Hey, can you do photos?" I'm like, I'm not a photographer. That wasn't what I got it for. I wanted to do this, but then I went broke, and that's all I had. And then I sold my camera to my pastor, which in turn gave it back to me 2 weeks later and said, "God said you should use it."
Oh,
and that's when I took photography seriously. And my first time really appreciating it was about 3 years in. I had a chance to take photos of, this was when, you probably remember back in South Carolina when they had the young white man killed the people in the church in Charleston, South Carolina. Mm-hmm. So that spawned, one of the guys was a senator, a black senator. And so that spawned the whole thing for the state. So I got commissioned to do a job taking pictures of a lot of the beautiful portions of the state. Changed my life as a photographer. The piece that I had taking pictures of a bridge for 3 hours. The bridge not moving.
Wow.
Nothing's happening but me moving around this big old bridge or this other place or just sitting in the middle of the road and taking pictures of the skyline or going to this place or this body of water or this dam or this stuff. The peace I felt changed my life forever. So when you said that, it hit my soul because I'm like, people don't know how you can free yourself from art with art. And so, this is your journey. How did you get free in that time frame? What are some of the things you did? And what are you bringing to other people in your business to say, hey, this is what I did to get free. And this time I'm going to help you get free by coming in here to paint, have a drink.
Yeah. It's been incredible. I remember when we first got the news about Will's kidneys, and I had a different studio at the time, and I went down and I painted this painting because I just heard God say, "Okay, you got to get it together.
Yeah,
you really got to get it together because you're gonna have to lead." And I didn't want to lead, and then I felt God said, "Restaurant business, right? I prepared you for this.
Yep.
You've been a leader all your. I used to boss my brother and sister around all the time. They used to get tired of me. I built you for this.
Yeah.
So I painted this painting and said, "Still I rise."
Wow.
And then I just continued to paint throughout the series. Like we've had, a lot of bumps in the road where He was asthmatic, and first we got the date, and then they had the surgery, and then they had to change it, and it was just, and then I just go down and paint something, and sometimes I'd be crying and painting,
Wow.
and then I turned them into magnets, and I sold them because we had to live away from home we had to live in a hotel for a month, in Arizona. So I used it to, I would sell the art, sell the whatever. I've been doing calendars forever, so the art just helped me so much to take my mind off of it. I didn't even realize, I really was not into that part. I didn't really understand what it was doing, And it was just what I loved to do, and that's what I found comfort in doing.
Yeah.
It wasn't to introduce other people really to it. And then I started doing the paint and sip parties, which, by the way, I was really intimidated about doing art, like stepping out, like as a business, especially working with Annie. I work with some of the top artists, got to see some of the top artists come through here, come through the gallery, and just didn't think there was a place for me.
Yeah.
And I went and visited a paint and sip. I went to a party and I looked around and I said, "Oh my goodness, I could do every painting in here. They look like cartoons. They look like cartoons." And that's what I did as a little girl.
Yeah.
I drew the pictures out of the coloring book. I could duplicate mostly anything that I saw,
Yeah.
And so when I saw that, I was like, okay, this is, and I started out little by little. But when I started having these parties, I was doing them for like $10 or whatever. And just as I grew in it, I just was like, wow, I've done probably over 500 paint parties, and everybody's so happy.
Yeah.
There's nobody that's mad. How does this happen? And that's when, over the last few years, I started getting interested in the neuroscience behind it, and the endorphins, and, the dopamine, and all those different, happy hormones that get elevated when you engage in a creative activity. And mine just happens to be painting.
Yeah.
And taking myself out of the mix and observing and working with kids, like at-risk teens that come in my space, and they're like, what is this old black lady going to teach me, and have nothing to say to me. And then by the end, they're coming up to me like a 2-year-old. What do you think of my painting? You know what I mean? And that's when I started really taking a deep dive into therapeutic art. So I'm not an art therapist. I'm studying a lot. I'm studying a lot. And I do art as therapy with more intentional direction of what we're trying to accomplish in one set. And then I still do the traditional paint and sip. So it's been really I'm really seeing the value in my work.
Yeah.
At first, I didn't see it so much.
Yeah.
I just thought we was having a good time and turn it up, right? Which is still always good. I don't want to say that's still good.
Yeah, definitely.
But now, as I'm growing, and especially since a lot of younger people are coming into the space, turning up better than trapping paint I can't get with, all that stuff. And I'm like, okay, I'm maturing. And, in business, we got to pivot.
Yes.
I'm studying my competition now. They're doing crochet at Painting with a Twist, and they're doing candle making, and they're doing all kinds of other creative things that really don't align with the brand, really. But we're always thinking of new things, and I'm like, okay, I'm older. I'm getting older. What are we? We need peace. The whole world does.
You got that
actually.
right. You got that right.
So a healthy. I'm introducing healthy coping strategies outside of if you're unhealthy would be drinking, smoking, drugs, all those kinds of things. This is a healthy coping strategy, like reading, walking in the park, art.
Yeah.
And anybody can do it. There's a form called neurographic art, which you're just scribbling with a purpose.
Yeah.
And there's all kinds of things to get into the art space.
Yeah.
I pre-trace everything, so you're not intimidated by it.
That's beautiful. I got to come to one of those. I haven't came because I'm not a painter, but now I know it's pre-traced. I can go ahead and do that. But no, I think when you get in touch with the people and the people give you the proper feedback, that lets you know. So what's been the response as far as support from the city? Because you're in the heart of the city, off of Eastern.
Yes.
So.
I want to just real quick. I would love to see it at a paint party. I love when the men come.
Oh yeah.
Because I tell you, the men will pull me aside. and I can't even count how many times this has happened, and said, I didn't want to come. I know you didn't want to come.
Yeah,
That's
that
why I
was
don't
me.
really paint for men. I
Yeah.
paint for women. The women bring their husbands in. I do
Yeah,
a
we get dragged in, kicking and
Yeah.
screaming.
Yes, I do a Valentine's Day event with a couple, a friend of mine some friends of mine that are really into bringing couples together,
Mm-hmm.
and it's a beautiful event. And the men come to me more times than I can count and said, I didn't want to do it, and this was great. I
love it.
really enjoyed myself. And even my husband, like
I was just about to ask about him. I was about to say, how does he do it? How many times have you dragged him in and made him paint?
My husband is he loves television. That's what he wants to do.
My
so
God.
when I first learned about neurographic art and pulled him into it, and he was my guinea pig, just one-on-one, he really enjoyed it, because it was a lot of times we're not still, and we're not, I ask sometimes a lot of the times, to turn off your phone, unplug for the next 2 hours.
Yeah.
If you have to take a call, like step outside.
Yeah.
And just be present in the moment with the art, and allow yourself to really engage in the full experience. And he really enjoys it when we take that time out together. And it brings you and your mate, if you're doing a couple thing, it brings you closer together. Just doing, a bonding exercise,
Nobody's closer than you guys now.
Oh, yeah.
You guys are truly a part of one another now. At
And
this
when
point.
you count your blessings, I used to pray the same prayer every night. And one of the parts of the prayer was to bring me and Will closer together.
And he never give it to you the way you pray for it, because you didn't think about that part, like not even a little bit. Like,
but the support from the community, and I don't know really how to answer that question. When I go after stuff, I get it, right? But people aren't like knocking on my doors to ask me. I work for the Silver Springs Recreation Center in Henderson.
Okay.
So I paint there once a month with the kids, because I think it's important that
Yeah,
we
of
work with
course.
the youth. That's not my favorite audience. My favorite audience is women over 40.
Yeah.
It's usually who I paint
the
with.
kids is bouncing off the wall.
Yeah, but I feel a social responsibility to give back to the kids. So I'm going to be doing more community-based events at Angelique's Community Art Center. Partnering, I have a Pizza Hut that's a couple doors down. That the general manager there is Black. I have a Subway in my in the commercial center, and she's Black. So we're going to do something big in that parking lot. It's a huge parking lot over
Sound
there.
like support to me.
Yeah, and that's me
And
going
collaboration.
me going to get it. You
Yeah,
know what I mean? You got
You got
get it.
to. There you go. There you
Yeah,
go.
you
Like
gotta go
you
get
got to. We waiting on, like, I did the thing. Now I'm sitting here and nobody's coming. I think that we've what's that? Where did that misconception come from? That it's just going to
You
drop
gotta go,
and come.
You got to go get. I mean, I got a McDonald's there, and I'm thinking, around a McDonald's house, I should do a fundraiser. I help people with fundraisers.
Yeah.
And as I was saying, like, my base is a little older, because I'm a little older. So I created like events like I have books and brushes where I work with local authors. I bring authors in, because by the time you're 40, you got a story, right?
Yeah, you got that right.
A lot of us are writing books. So I have the author come in, read excerpts every 15 or 20 minutes. We paint something subject relative to the book. And then each person that comes, they leave with the book and their painting.
Love it. Love it. Love it. This is some dope stuff, y'all. I'm telling you.
Thank you.
This is
And
some
I'm doing
dope
praise
stuff.
and paint, because we're grateful. We 40 and over, we have a testimony. And we've seen God work in our lives. And that's me thinking, okay, what is my base need? I'm my base, right? And I have a testimony that I want to share. So I brought
hell of a testimony.
a pastor in, a praise dancer. We paint something spiritual. It's about a 3-hour event. And I've done that a couple times. I have one coming up at the end of January. And that's been beautiful. And it gives people a platform too, to share their testimony. And there's no alcohol, because it's praise and paint.
Yeah, of course.
We doing sparkling cider. We always go eat though.
Yeah.
And it's not me cooking, because I'm in the restaurant. Was in the restaurant business. It's never me cooking. I bring in chefs. I'm collaborating with all these.
And
people.
you're supporting other people as well. So that's just amazing.
It's
I'm talking about how they supporting you, but you're showing how you supporting everybody, and that's a part of it. And you said something about the social responsibility. I know personally, we all should identify our personal that social responsibility. But before we wrap up, talk about the social responsibility that you feel you might have as an entrepreneur in Las Vegas.
Giving people a platform. God put it on my heart to call it Angelique's Community Art Center, not Angelique's Paint and Sip Studio, not Angelique's Paint whatever. He put it on my heart to call it community. And I love that so much because I get to give people a platform and an opportunity to showcase their talent, an opportunity that a lot of people don't get because I'm going to get you too. I don't wait for people. If I see you and how you're moving on social media or whatever, I'll reach out to you and say, come down and talk to me. Let me show you what I'm doing.
Love it.
Do you want to be involved? And I think that that's what I'm adding. And I'm giving people peace in a safe place. I come up with stuff like I had a Black Women That Pray group.
Wow.
You know, bring people in. It's free. Let's just come down and talk. And just providing a safe space where people can experience not just the healing power and the joy of art, but fellowship.
Yeah. I love it.
And people are starting to want to stay inside. You know, they're watching Netflix and chill. They're getting Uber Eats. They're getting Amazon. It's very easy to stay inside, and then you feel lonely. And you got to get out there, people. Like you got to get out there.
Yeah. So speaking on that, you know, entrepreneurs, you might want to create something to get people outside, and that's going to definitely happen sooner than later. I mean, I've heard someone say in about 10 years, you're going to be able to make money off of, you know, just charging somebody to walk with them and spend an hour or 2 hours with them, because this is what it is. Even now, these kids have gotten to a point where they have parties with everybody wearing headphones. So how you party getting together and then, but that's not being together. So it's kind of funny, but I think that's going to max out, and people are going to just want genuine companionship and being able to spend time with other humans.
Absolutely.
And so that's...
Absolutely. That's why I said I see more value today in my work than I've ever seen before.
I love it.
Because we're struggling. A lot of people are struggling with their mental health, their well-being, being happy.
You got that right. Yeah. And, you know, they got financial issues going on. That always can tear up a family, you know, tear down somebody, things of that nature. So I'm just excited. This has been phenomenal for me. And I think you have a word in you for our audience. So I would love for you to look right into that camera right there and just give some words of encouragement to my people, to our audience about, you know, going into, we're at the time of this recording, we're going into the next year. Like what's something that they can take with them going into the next year?
Going into the next year, just stay prayed up. Remember who is really in control and do what you can. Do your part, you know, wherever you're at. Be the best that you can be wherever you're at. And going into 2026, I'm big on, I don't like to call them resolutions, but big goals. Count your blessings from 2025. Count your blessings. And set some big goals for yourself in 2026.
Love it. Love it. One thing I like to tell people is that we got to learn how to leave the year where it is, because we be trying to take everything with us. I mean, you got to take some stuff, but just a backpack full. You can't take all the rest of that stuff into the next year, because we can't never get that year back.
Yeah.
You know, so all of the crap that happened to you, a lot of time we take that over. Like, no, this new year got some crap, but it got some great stuff too for you. But we're not, you know, our hands are full and we're not ready to receive it, you know, because we're carrying all that baggage, you know, with us from year to year. And that's how we can't grow. And it's I talked about earlier about we're still trying to go back to the crisis. Like when you look back over this year and you was blessed like you were, what happened in 2024 shouldn't count. You know what I mean? You just came off a blessed year. So you should go into 2026 on a high, ready in expectation for bigger and better.
Amen.
And you should be moving at that level. You know, like if you were at a situation where you were at a 5 in 2024 and you got pushed up to a 10, you can't go back to 5 because you're comfortable. I don't care if the 10 is new. I'm staying at 10 when I'm going into 2026. I'm not going back for nobody. So 2026, I have to see me at this 10. And I'm prepared to get to 12 and 15, maybe even 20.
Right.
But it's going to be harder to get to that if you keep running back to 5.
Yes.
You keep running back to 5.
Yes.
You already at the 10. You've been delivered from that. Now, trust me, it's some other crap that's coming. We know that.
There will be trials and tribulations.
But only 10, you can handle that. 5, you ain't prepared for that, to handle that. 5, you can't fight that next fight. 10, you can. 12, you can.
Yes.
And so you got to stay and keep that power. Any other stuff it's just a backpack full. You know, you can take a backpack full, and hopefully that's some amazing journeys that you've had and some amazing memories that you've taken.
Yes.
You know, you don't have to be all crappy stuff. You know what I mean?
Amen.
A lot of that stuff only lasts a little bit of time. You know, when something bad happened for an hour and you're like, my whole day's messed up. You know, that's usually how we operate, and we got to stop that. We got to seize the moment.
Yes.
Literally, last hour was bad. Right now is great. And claim that.
Yes.
You know, and acknowledge it. Y'all, I told y'all I was gonna keep upgrading us every time we get on this camera. We're gonna upgrade, and this has just been phenomenal for me. Let everybody know how they can tap in with you, the website, the address,
thank you.
everything like that. So that, and all that stuff you watching will be on the screen, so you guys can tap in and follow her social media, everything. Let them know.
So I would love for you to come visit me at Angelique's Community Art Center at 8140 Southeastern on the corner of Windmill and Eastern in that Big Lot shopping center. I'm right next door to it. I'm open every day from 12 to 8. I'm closed on Mondays and Tuesdays. But if you see my van, just come on in or just come ring the bell. I say it's by appointment, but if you see my van, just come on in. And I go live every Wednesday night at 8 p.m. on Facebook and Instagram. So I can get to know my base and you can get to know me a little bit better. And I talk about different events that are coming up. You can find me on all the platforms under Paint with Angelique on TikTok and Instagram and Facebook, all that, even LinkedIn, of course. And you can actually come to the Art Center and paint free. There's little canvases I have because I'm trying to remove all the barriers for anyone to experience the healing power and the joy of art.
Okay. And what's your website?
It is Paint with Angelique, LV for Las Vegas.
Okay.
.com.
Listen, y'all, this has been amazing. If you haven't been touched by this story, you wasn't woke. You wasn't listening. You was asleep. You know, something wrong with your hearing. Clean the wax out. This is phenomenal, and I was happy to have her here. I'm even more happy now that we actually went through this discussion. Thank you again for taking the time out. You guys, y'all already know how to tap in with us. Go right now to YouTube and subscribe In the Studio with J Haleem. www.jhaleem.com. That's if you want to tap in with me directly. You can find a link for the podcast as well there. I am J Haleem on all my platforms. You can tap in with me. But again, we're going to continue to have amazing people like this lovely young lady right here. And we're going to support her too. So when you guys will see me in 2026 painting, and I'll sip too. I'll paint and I'll sip something, but I can't wait to go ahead and do it and support, because that's one thing we love to do is support. And now we're family, so now you can't get rid of me.
Oh, good. Thank you.
You guys, listen, this has been your boy J Haleem again for another session right here with me in the studio. See y'all guys next time. Peace.